You know him as the most wholesome man in Hollywood and grew up watching him in the Matrix movies. But under all those tough layers of kindness, humor, and badassery, there are a bunch of things you may find a little weird. So without further ado, here are 12 strange facts about Keanu Reeves. First up at number 12, he was never American. Wait, you didn't think a guy named Keanu Reeves was born and raised in great American soil now, did you? The star was born in Lebanon in 1964 to Patricia Taylor, who is English. His dad's side of the family is a little wilder because Samuel Nowlin Reeves is from Hawaii, but has Portuguese, Chinese, as well as British descent. Talk about the whole package. Keanu then lived in Australia and New York, and ended up in Canada later in his life, where he applied for citizenship. Sorry, Americans, you can't claim this man because he belongs to the rest of the world. It's okay. You guys have like the rest of Hollywood to brag about. Up next at number 11, Reeves is a huge motorhead. A lot of celebrities in Hollywood have more luxurious cars than they need. Some actors own 6 different cars when only 2 adults live in the house. Keanu, on the other hand, is interested in vehicles with 2 wheels less. The Speed actor has been vocal about his obsession with motorcycles and has a very big collection of them. Some brands that he owns are Suzuki, BMW, Kawasaki, and of course, a Harley-Davidson. To all the other motorheads watching this, we'd mention the model names of each of these bikes, but there are just way too many numbers to keep up with. How are you supposed to remember a Suzuki GS1100E? We're so lucky Ubers don't use these motorbikes, otherwise spotting one would be a nightmare. Right, so back on track here, or in this case, a hairpin bend. This craze for these fast rides almost cost him his life in 1988. He met with a turning too fast and crashed, which led him to losing a spleen. Yes, an entire spleen is missing from that man's body. We thought that was a vital organ. Coming up at number 10, did he want to change his name? Since Keanu is of Hawaiian descent, his name has a foreign meaning too. It means cool breeze over the mountain and was derived from his great-great-uncle who went by the name of Kiwelu. Hope we're pronouncing that right. Please leave a comment if we didn't. The name describes the actor perfectly because of his stoic and kind personality. As fitting as his birth name is, his agents thought otherwise when he first moved to Hollywood. They wanted a stage name that would stand out. Reeves thought of one very hard with that adorable brain of his and came up with, wait for it, Chuck Spadina. Of course that's what he chose. But his agents weren't thrilled and asked for another, so the actor picked Templeton Page Taylor. At this point, even we would give up, and that's just what his agents did. Keanu got to keep his iconic name after all. Now, for how Reeves was as a child at number 9. We think you might find this a little relatable, but turns out the actor wasn't the brightest or most disciplined student in high school. His only interest involved ice hockey and acting. We don't have much information about this, but we can only imagine that Keanu was one of those typical bad boys in school who are secretly gifted in what they're passionate about. And that's kind of how things turned out for the Matrix star, because he's now a world-famous actor with a net worth of around $380 million. Remember when we said he was into ice hockey just a few seconds ago? Yeah, if things ended differently, Keanu would have been a part of the NHL. Following up with his icy interest at number 8. When he was too busy skipping class, Reeves was rocking it as a goalkeeper with his friends in a game of ice hockey. This and acting were probably the only things that kept him in school. He was so good at being a goalie that his teammates nicknamed him The Wall. If he didn't make it big in Hollywood, he was keen on playing for the Canadian national team at the Olympics. Who do you think would have been Neo or John Wick in those awesome franchises if the lead was a hockey player instead? Keanu was given the opportunity to try out for the Windsor Spitfires, which is a team in the Ontario Hockey League. He declined the offer because he believed that his future was with performing. Guess he was right. The star ended up getting the best of both worlds because in the 1986 film Youngblood, he portrayed a hockey pro alongside Patrick Swayze and Rob Lowe. Talk about being lucky. Up next at number 7, Keanu is a what? Did the star's mother ring any bells? Were you even paying attention? Well, did you know Patricia Taylor was a costume costume designer in Hollywood. And when you have influential connections in an industry like that, it could mean only one thing. Keanu Reeves is a Nepo baby. Don't know what that means? Well, the term comes from nepotism, which is using the connections you have with family and friends to have the upper hand in making it big. Patricia is known to be involved in the 1995 comedy, The Four Corners of Nowhere. Just one phone call and Keanu probably got his first major acting gig. But you'd be surprised how he started out in this industry. Now, for the time he refused to star in a sequel at number 6. We all remember the time the actor starred alongside Sandra Bullock in a bus that was going way too fast for them to stop. Speed 2 called for Keanu to reprise his role as Jack Traven in the 1997 sequel, but after having a look at the script, he refused to associate with anything that had to do with the movie. It was probably his way of saying, "Look, we've done this before, and seeing a bunch of boats just doesn't sit right with me." Reeves was not prepared to jeopardize his career with this movie because of how it sounded. Luckily, his decision to leave proved to be fruitful because Speed 2 was a complete flop. No offense to Sandra Bullock, though. We still love you. Even though the film had someone like Willem Dafoe in it, it still couldn't get a good review and barely cracked its budget after making around $164 million at the box office. Following up with his protest at number 5. When he was trying to grow his hair out to the gorgeous length it is today, the producers of the movie Speed were against the idea of one of their protagonists having long hair. Once the actor found out about this, he shaved his entire head out of spite and, in a way, declared a protest. Believe it or not, they had to wait for his head to grow an appropriate amount of hair till they could start filming the movie. Could you imagine the quality of the movie if they decided to start shooting earlier than planned? Little decisions like this are what made Reeves the actor he is today. Moving on to some of his bad habits at number 4. While filming the 1996 film Feeling Minnesota, Reeves' character was written in a way that he was a chain smoker. Although prop cigarettes were used in the movie, the actor developed the habit, wanting an extra hit of nicotine from the stick he inhaled into his mouth. As sad as it is to see, Keanu has been addicted to cigarettes ever since and has failed any attempt to quit. One of these endeavors was in 2008, where he publicly announced that he will try to quit smoking, but inevitably failed. We're hoping the actor quits this terrible habit, and if you're one of the viewers who occasionally takes a puff or two, we want you to consider all your choices right now. No, this isn't an advertisement to quit smoking, but we care about all of you. Now, for his terrible driving skills at number 3. Celebrity or not, you still have to abide by the rules when it comes to the basic driving laws. It was revealed in 1993 that Keanu was charged with a DUI, and if you don't know what that means, he was driving pretty recklessly under the influence. Okay, if you're a little too young to understand what that means, just imagine him driving while not completely in his senses. Fast forward to 2006, he ran a red light and wasn't let go so easily. As wholesome as he is, you definitely don't want to be a passenger when Reeves is driving. Coming up at number 2, he's never been nominated for an Oscar. To think that with all this success and fame, you'd be nominated for the most prestigious award in Hollywood. Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, and other powerhouse actors have all been nominated for an Oscar. This is due to the fact that not only are these people powerhouse actors in the industry, they've also executed amazing performances in the movies they've been in. Unfortunately, we can't say the same about Keanu Reeves. Yes, he's a pop culture icon and the most wholesome person to walk on this earth. You gotta admit, his filmography isn't that impressive. Name 3 movies where Keanu excelled in every possible way in terms of acting. The Matrix franchise doesn't count. Hopefully the actor picks up a project where he can show the world how talented he is and deliver an Oscar-worthy performance. Lastly, at number 1, Reeves has a troubled background. Underachieving high schoolers aside, the Constantine star has had his fair share of tragedies, and we want to emphasize a little bit because it's about to get sad. Not only did his father abandon him when he was young, his first daughter died stillborn when she was 8 months. He also lost 2 loved ones when he was younger, which might explain his troublesome nature throughout school. If you think losing your relatives and daughter was the worst-case scenario, wait till you find out he lost his wife in a car accident in 2001. Imagine losing your firstborn and wife all in the same year. No doubt the actor channeled this tragedy into his acting career, but we should still sympathize with the man. Keanu has gone through so much, but still manages to be one of the happiest faces in Hollywood. We're so sorry for ending the video abruptly, but that's all the time we have left. What are some of your favorite Keanu performances? Leave your answers in the comments below. As always, leave a like and hit that subscribe button to see more of our content, and we'll see you in the next one.